welcome to our Monday edition of City Wrap Ramadan. On today's show, we're learning about Dubai's Community Development Authority and finding out why they've chosen to target blue-collar workers this Ramadan. We'll also be telling you all about the dangers of dehydration while fasting. And rounding things off, as always, we'll be bringing you the next installment in our Ramadan recipes segment. But let's get started with those prizes by letting you know what you can win on today's competition. A platter of gourmet dates from Batil, a bag filled with own products worth 1,000 dirhams, 500 dirhams to spend shopping for your kids at Katakit, meal vouchers for Wafi restaurants, iftar vouchers for the Address Hotels and Resorts, a bag filled with Sally Hansen products, and a watch and perfume from Paris Gallery. If you'd like to score these prizes, stay tuned to find out how you can take part in tonight's competition. Now, any health expert would tell you just how crucial it is to keep hydrated during Ramadan, but just how severe are the consequences of failing to do so? Our very own Marwan went to do a little medical research to find out.
Fasting is no easy feat. As many will agree, not drinking can be more challenging than not eating. In fact, without taking the proper precautions, a lack of fluids can take a severe toll on your body during Ramadan.
As many doctors will warn you, failing to rehydrate yourself can cause some serious medical issues after fasting long, hot summer days. This can include things like kidney stones and urinary tract infections.
Keeping yourself hydrated at all times is always very important because the different electrolytes that are normally secreted in the urine become more concentrated when we excrete less amount of urine, especially during the warm summer months. And this can give rise to crystallization and formation of stone crystals. Those conditions can vary from not so serious to very serious conditions resulting in kidney damage, kidney failure, and serious implications for general health, especially with urinary tract infections that can cause fever and can end in hospitalization of the patient, even in the intensive care unit sometimes. The worst long-term consequence is kidney scarring, renal failure, kidney damage, and also a very serious urinary tract infection with fever that might result in hospitalization of the patient.
As these medical issues continue to develop with the increase in temperature, the question remains is how do you keep your body hydrated?
One should definitely never forget to drink water and electrolyte solutions during the summer, the warm summer months. Of course, this is a delicate balance between water intake and water excretion with sweat, and also stay away from the heat, stay away from the sun as far as possible, and avoid strenuous heavy exercise during the warm summer months. Regarding stone formation, there is no specific dietary advice, and for patients that form stones, usually there is a very detailed workup to identify risk factors, and then we can give specific recommendations for each patient separately. But the general recommendation is just keep yourself hydrated and avoid excess of salty food and excess of junk food, excessive meat intake, excessive calories and proteins.
Prevention is always better than the cure, so remember, keep yourself hydrated and healthy during the holy month of Ramadan to focus your efforts on what really counts.
Thank you to Marwan for that report. Here on City Wrap, we're always on a mission to keep you informed and entertained. So, to ensure we keep you busy with some of this month's most interesting activities, check out this week's Ramadan calendar. Take a break, but we'll be back shortly to learn about yet another charitable initiative bound to inspire you into taking action. See you in a few. You're watching City Wrap Ramadan. We've explored a number of charity initiatives on our show this month, and today we're at it again, this time putting the spotlight on Dubai's Community Development Authority. Joining us now in studio to talk us through what they've been doing is Dr. Omar Al Muthanna, the CEO for the Social Regulator and Licensing Sector at the CDA. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Lovely. So talk to me about how successful were the CDA's Ramadan initiatives last year?
Okay, last year we had the initiative that was called Smile in the Face, and we have made some great success. The initiative was targeted towards the laborers that work in the Emirate of Dubai. We have targeted just over 20,000 laborers. This year, however, we have changed the name of the initiative. We called it Yistahlon, which is an Arabic colloquial Emirati word. It just means well deserved, and they do deserve this. But however, we've expanded our scope to a much higher number. We are targeting now over 160,000 for the month of Ramadan. Basically, it's an initiative that stems from a larger program, which is called Honor Labor. This Honor Labor was launched in May 2012, last year. May because of it was during the Labor Day, International Labor Day in May. We decided it would be a prudent time to launch it, and we did. The initiatives that we do in Ramadan is more of like a booster kind of initiative for the program.
Why did you choose to target the blue-collar workers?
Okay. Let me just, before we start into the genesis of this program or this initiative, I'll just give you a brief introduction about what we actually do in Community Development Authority, so we can understand why we targeted this.
Absolutely.
It is very important for us to instill this notion of social responsibility in the community. And although when you speak about social responsibility, people tend to think of CSR and corporate social responsibility. We want to come out of this and show that social responsibility is not only imprisoned in the corporate field, but it should be housed in on all individuals of the community. So we do that by empowering the members of the community to feel that they are empowered enough to be able to cater to the social issues that are present in our community, which means that the society must feel that they don't need to always be dependent on the government or the private sector. They must feel empowered to be able to attend to their needs by themselves. And in order to do that, we have, through the licensing and regulatory sector, we have laid down frameworks to how to go about making non-profit organizations, and how to go about in becoming sustainable, and how to develop programs to cater to the needs of the society. So it will be from the people towards the people. And of course it gives a lot of pride to be able to say that you live in a city where the community feels empowered, empowered enough to address their issues. We know that through this fast growth of in the Emirate of Dubai, the laborers have contributed largely into the construction, and we want to demonstrate that the government of Dubai is cognizant of this fact, and we are there to support this the laborers and empowering them.
I think one thing you guys are also doing, apart from helping the laborers, you guys are also planning to give out gifts and food baskets to families in need, right? Tell me, how did you go around selecting these families?
Actually, the program for selecting the families is just another example of how the CDA creates programs and rolls it out to the community. What we do in the Community Development Authority, we develop programs through our specialists and experts that work in the authority. We identify the needs of the community, and we create programs that cater to vulnerable people in the community, for example, elderlies or people with disabilities. And we have programs such as Relief, which is for the elderly, and other programs that deal with other vulnerable groups. And these are programs that we roll out to the community, so to empower them, and then they can adapt and use it themselves. We have part of the sectors that the services that we deliver through our sectors is benefits to the families, and how we go about choosing the families, and the amount of support that they receive is also knowledge that we have transferred down to the communities and associations for them to adopt this mentality and try to practice it for the communities that they serve. There's strategic outcomes that we have 5 strategic outcomes that we always try to achieve through this initiative that we are doing. We are fulfilling the social cohesion through which we are promoting the CSR and the private sector to be able to engage themselves with the nonprofit organization to deliver their services collaboratively. We also have the social inclusion, which is a testimony that we don't have marginalized communities in Dubai. The laborers are included into our community. We have a CDA, we have reached to the farthest, to everyone. And we also, the other strategic outcome is the social empowerment. And we do that by empowering individuals through programs. This initiative, for example, has a plethora of activities. Not only do we give out iftar meals, we're planning to give out for this month 100,000 iftar meals,
wow,
60,000 food packages.
Lovely.
And also courses in English, computer literacy, leadership, blood donation, things that will support this individual, makes him feel, improve his self-esteem, and make him feel that he is in fact active member of the community.
Thank you so much for being with us. It is so inspiring to hear what you guys are up to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we know you've been waiting for this time, and finally it has arrived. It's your chance to win tonight's amazing lineup of prizes, including a platter of gourmet dates from Batil, a bag filled with own products worth 1,000 dirhams, 500 dirhams to spend shopping for your kids at Katakit, meal vouchers for Wafi restaurants, iftar vouchers for the address hotels and resorts, a bag filled with Sally Hansen products, and a watch and a perfume from Paris Gallery. For your chance to win tonight's competition prizes, check out facebook.com/CityWrap and answer the following question. Who revealed the Holy Quran to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him? Was it A. Ali, B. Khadija, or C. Jibreel? We'll be announcing the winner of tonight's competition on our Facebook page on Tuesday, so make sure you check back in with us to find out if you're a winner. Now, it's time for another quick break, but things are gonna get very hot in here with Ramadan recipes. Don't miss out on tonight's cook-off. Welcome back to City Wrap Ramadan. Now we're loving that you're loving our new Ramadan recipe segment this year, and we'd love it even more if you wrote in to tell us what dish you'd love to see whipped in our kitchen. And as for tonight, Chef Anup Pawar is here from the address downtown Dubai to teach us all how to make the city's best lobster moili. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you today, Chef?
Very good. We're going to do a lobster moili today. It's basically a lobster curry. Comes from the southern part of India.
Okay.
So we're going to take some lobster. You can see I've put a toothpick throughout the length of the lobster. This is basically to make sure that the lobster doesn't leave its shape when we cook it. And we're going to put some turmeric powder, some ginger garlic paste, and a tinge of salt in it, so that the flavors are still there. And we just leave it in the marination for just like 1 minute. And then we start the sauce here. So you can see the ingredients. The pan is nice and hot. And basically, just to tell you about the introduction of this dish.
Yes.
This dish comes from the southern part of India. As you can see, this dish has lots of coconut milk in it. And it's going to be not very spicy, as normally the fare of Indian food is sometimes in the people. So we're going to add some mustard seed,
Chef, why did you select this dish for tonight?
It's basically it's a very nice and non-spicy dish, and again it's you can control the spice with the amount of chili that you're adding in.
Okay.
And then why I choose this is because again lobster is very common to the Emiratis. They love lobsters, and if you don't like lobster or if you like crabs or any seafood, you can go ahead with the same recipe.
Okay.
But you just need to make sure that when you cook the onions for this dish, is a very important key ingredient.
Onions?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the more you cook the onions,
Yeah.
your gravy is going to taste more sweeter. But the lesser you cook, your gravy is going to be not very dense. It's going to be look nice and light. That's
Okay.
the important key that you can do always when you do Indian food. This is some turmeric powder. The end product I needed nice and yellow color.
All right.
So that's why nice amount of turmeric powder in there. Some coriander powder again to add more flavor to the curry. Some cumin powder, again it's a herb, it's a spice.
Okay.
And this is something called as curry leaf.
It adds to the color.
It doesn't add to the color. It's like what the basil does to your pasta. It gives you more flavor.
Okay.
So exactly the curry leaf does same thing to the curry.
Okay.
So that's why it's called as curry leaf, because it's used a lot in the curries.
Where are these from originally?
This is again from the southern part of India, but
Okay.
we do produce locally in the parts of Oman and a few places in Emirates as well. It's a
Okay.
very natural herb that you can grow it in your house. It's very important to add some water when you're cooking any spices,
Okay. Why
because
is that?
you can control the amount of cooking that you need to do in the spice. Because the spices when you see in the market, they're nice and dried and then powdered. So they're 99% cooked, but when you cook it in oil, it gives a nice color, but you need to control the amount of spice you cook. Because you overcook it, then your curry is going to taste a bit bitter in it.
Bitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some tomato puree, again to add some sourness to the curry.
Okay.
You can see this dish is very simple. You can try it at home. Again, this is not a very authentic way of doing it. Back home, if in India, if a housewife is doing it at home, she will take fresh coconut, she will pound it with all the spices, make it a paste, and then cook it. But then
So why are you doing it differently?
Because it's again, you don't have so much time, you have
Okay.
busy working schedule.
We have 8.5 minutes.
Yes. This is coconut cream.
Okay. Coconut cream.
Yes. Again, as I said, this is a very simple dish to make at home. The coconut curry is the coconut cream is available in the market. So we're going to take the lobster and sear it nicely.
Okay.
How much time I have more?
We have about 5 minutes left.
Okay. So the lobster is getting seared. It's basically, you can see the lobster because of the toothpick inside is not changing the shape. It will stay straight throughout. Again, this is very professional way of doing it. It's not a home style way of doing it. So you can see now the color is not very yellow.
Yeah,
it's still
why is
white.
that?
Again, the turmeric, it will take its time to cook in. It will take another 15 minutes to simmer it. And then
Okay.
the color will eventually come into
So the more
to
you cook the
sauce.
turmeric,
Exactly.
okay, the
it will
color
give you
comes
more
out.
color. In the meantime, we
Okay.
just adjust some seasoning. We add some salt.
all right.
And just to finish the gravy, we'll do some lemon juice in it. Again, lemon juice is added so that any seafood when you have, you like to have a little bit of sourness in it, so that it takes off the off flavor of the seafood. So that's
Okay.
the reason why lemon juice is added. Again, lemon juice should not be added at the initial stage of cooking. It should be always done at the last stage
Why
of
is
the cooking.
that, Chef?
The more you cook any souring agent, for example, yogurt or lemon, it tends to get bitter. So
Okay.
that's the reason it should always be done at the last stage of the cooking. So it gives you the nice tinge to the curry, and also it adds on the souring agent. So now you can see as soon as the dish starts cooking, it starts getting a nice boil, the color is changing. So you can see the lobster is nice and seared now.
Yes,
So what
it
I'm
is.
going to do is, you're going to add the lobster inside the curry, so that the curry gets a flavor of the lobster.
Okay.
And it doesn't just taste like a simple
Got
coconut milk.
3.5 minutes, Chef.
All right. So now you can boil it, just leave it on the boil.
How long
and
are you supposed to leave that in?
Yeah, that's
for
it. You
boil?
can another for 6 minutes so the lobster gets nice and soft.
6 minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the cooking time for any lobster. So you just leave it aside. We have a ready curry which is going to be in exactly how it's
Okay,
going
I
to look
can
like.
see how the color has
Yeah,
changed.
it's just changes over a period of time. You just need to love your curries and it will start loving you. That's how it goes. So just to
Love the
finish off
food.
the curry, you're going to add some chopped coriander.
Okay. Chef, what's this here? Is this for the plating?
This
or
is
are
for
you
the
supposed
plating.
to
Yeah.
add it?
It's just a
Okay.
garnish that you're going to do. So you can see the curry is nice and yellow in color. It gives a nice flavor of the curry leaf. So we can do the plate up now.
What do you like the most about this dish?
The most part I love is that the curry, once you take the first bite, you want to eat more.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the Lay's tagline, no one can eat just one, so you just cannot have a spoon, you need to have a complete portion out of it.
Okay.
You can serve it with rice, it goes excellent with any jasmine rice or basmati rice or red rice, which is very, very healthy in these days. So you can see what you're going to do is you're going to take off the lobster tail.
Okay.
So the lobster is still nice and straight.
All right. Chef, is this a dish offered at the Address Iftars?
It's not, we don't do a lobster, but we do a shrimp. So basically,
Okay, the same version.
yeah, the same version of it. As I said, we can do the same recipe
Okay, different
in a different version.
co-ingredient.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can do it with crabs, you can do it with hamur, any dish that any seafood that you love.
Does this dish bring any childhood memories?
For me, no, because
No?
I doesn't belong to this part of India.
Okay.
But if my mom is making, she say, put this coconut cream in the dustbin. Because she'll never make a coconut cream which is not homemade. She'll always go for which is been done in the house itself.
How do you make coconut cream?
It's nothing but you just take the fresh coconut and then you just put it for a boil. Again, this coconut cream that we use in the hotels are industrially made.
Okay.
So we cannot have the exact recipe for that, but it's basically nothing but coconut milk, which is then goes through an entire industrial process of stabilizing it so that it doesn't split.
And
So,
at home, how do you
at the home, you just take fresh coconut, you just grind it and then press out the milk. But if you have to take this amount of coconut cream that we use in the recipe, you'll have to grate at least 5 coconuts.
5 coconuts. Oh,
To
wow,
break a
that's gonna take
coconut
while.
and grate, it's a big challenge to do it in itself.
Exactly.
So you can see the coconut curry nice and there.
Okay.
The lobster sitting in the center. This is
We
just
have
a
a
way of
minute,
presenting well.
so we can take our time with plating. And
So then we have a nice garnish of
what are the
radish.
garnishes you
This is
using?
basically a radish just to give a crunch in the dish. And some tomatoes,
Okay.
some coriander sprigs so that the dish looks nice and green. So this is nothing but the Terino tomatoes, which is again is not an Indian version of tomatoes, but just as I said, it's an Italian tomatoes.
Okay.
But this is just to give you an insight of how Indian food can look beautiful as well. Because normally we have an outrage that Indian food is just put in the pan and it goes, but it can be
But it
look
tastes
more
delicious.
beautiful. Yes, exactly. So it can look beautiful and it can taste delicious as well. So that's how it goes. So this dish is nice and non-spicy dishes for Emiratis who don't love spice and much spice in their food. And the coconut again adds to the nice flavor of the curry.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this lovely recipe with us.
Have a nice day.
Thanks. That's it for tonight's show. We'll see you tomorrow when we learn how the Big Heart campaign is helping Syrian refugee children. As well, discover how Dubai's rapidly increasing volunteer community is feeding those in need this Ramadan. Have a lovely evening and a wonderful iftar. Good night.